Time to let loose.
Voted. It takes 30 seconds.
Scoops it. Turn and cough.
Good job, Tyson. You freaking did it.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Since 96 podcast. We're your hosts, Alex,
Sam.
Tyrone.
and Tyson. We have a great show ahead of us. Tyson, tell them what it's about.
So today we're going to cover a variety of topics. Some prepared beforehand, some not. But we're going to first review our week with Since We Spoke. We're going to review some life tips with Just the Tip. Do a deep dive, amateur stand-up hour, and then gun to your head with Sam.
Let's do this.
Ooh. Stoked for this amateur hour.
I am not.
Yeah, the amateur hour is the news segment. Oh,
That's gross.
this is nasty.
All right.
All right, since we last spoke,
What have you guys been up to?
Yeah, I had a close surfing call. I think I already told you guys, but the waves were pretty messy and just choppy on the North Shore this past week. And I went out there, and I have the surfboard's way too big. I can't dive under these waves. And so it's fine when it's a little smaller, but if it's a little bigger and more powerful, I just get destroyed out there. And so I got caught in the inside, and wave after wave was just pounding me. And then I ditched my board. There was no one around me, so I'm like, okay, I'm fine. And I feel the leash go super tight, and then all of a sudden I can't feel it anymore. And I thought the leash totally just snapped on me. Come out of the water, open my eyes, and the board is just coming right at my face. And I just lean off to the side, nails me in the cheek.
Oh.
And I just thought of how bad that could be, especially with what happened to Devin. That was just going through my mind the entire time. So,
Did we already talk about what happened to Devin?
No.
On the podcast?
uh-uh.
Good friend of ours lost. We didn't lose any teeth, but he had one broken in half and had to get 20 plus stitches in his face with basically what happened to Alex, but it made contact with his cheek or his mouth.
So crazy. You don't think boards aren't that heavy. Well, yours is. There are certain sports where it's good to be really big, and there are certain sports that it's not good to be really big. I feel like you were bred for football. Surfing, on the other hand, is a hard in-between because you need a big board because you're a big dude. But big boards are difficult because you can't get under the big waves, and that gets real sketchy.
Yeah, a lot of these big kahuna guys, they're just riding these 11-foot boats out there. They're just going for these little 2-foot waves, which is sick. I think longboarding is super fun, but I've just been trying to get into shortboarding more. Yeah.
Longboarding's cool if you're a girl. Am I right?
I don't know if we talked about this on the last podcast or if this was just a conversation we had about surfing, but about how you rarely ever get hurt surfing, but when you do, it's bad. There's never small bumps and bruises. It's just 1 to 100.
Yeah, you're either okay or you've broken skin and you're bleeding.
Yeah, or you smack your head on the reef and you're concussed in the hospital getting done the stitches.
Yeah, I also did hit the reef on my back. It wasn't even on the wave. I caught the wave, I was riding it, and then on the dismount, I just got wrecked because I tried to jump back over the wave, and I didn't quite clear it, and it just tossed me. And at that point, I was a little bit more shallow, and so it was only a foot or two of water. So it just rammed me into the reef. I'll throw a picture up. I have a picture of it. Yeah.
Oh.
Alex thought he was getting away, and the wave said, nope.
I know. I
Hold
caught
you
it.
back.
I'm like, oh, this is sick. Gonna jump up. Oh, no. Bam.
No, you don't.
That's sketchy. No, I hate that. I hate the reef and I hate rocks. That's when things get real dicey out there.
Yeah, for real. Any non-close calls for you guys this week?
Dude, the session right after when we were together, I had a close call with a compadre.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was just a bystander in this, and I just watched Tyson and this dude to his left paddling for his life. They were like a couple feet away from each other, and they're both catching it. And what? He went right, and you went left.
So the wave was coming. So it was a gas chambers wave. So they're normally the right at gas chambers, but this one was coming like way off from the left. So I was going to try to catch it left. Being a goofy footer, I'm like always trying to get lefts wherever I can. And this one looked like it was more of a left, and it was coming through, and I'm paddling for it. And this guy is on like, he's like backdooring the section. And I thought, if anything, he's got to go like left too with me, because that's the way he was pushing. And I drop in, but he like swoops and goes right. And like right, I'm on top, and he's coming this way. So I just ditch board and like narrowly miss him.
And I don't know if this guy was local or not. He had longer hair. They're both going. All I see is them kind of both start to drop in, and then both of the boards like fly up. Like, oh, great. We're going to have to fight someone right now.
Straight up. Did he say anything to you?
Dude, I honestly think he didn't say anything because he knew I was there with Alex.
Yeah, right.
I had that thought because I come
You're a
up out of
good guy
the
to have
water,
around.
and I asked him, I'm like, you good? And then he like doesn't say anything, like paddles away. And so I was like, okay. Because in that situation, it's really weird because like who had the right of way? Because I was going left, he was going right. It's normally a right break. So I'm like, it's probably my fault. But the way that wave was coming in, it was a left. So it was like a really weird call of like if anyone was in the wrong at all, if it was just like one of those miscommunications. But yeah, the guy kind of like kept his distance the rest of the session.
He totally just went to the next break over.
No way.
I'm like, where is that dude?
And
He's
I wasn't
way down
being
there.
mean either. I was just like,
Yeah.
I asked him if he was good, and he like didn't say anything. Like paddled away. All right, that was weird.
Dude, I think because I'm such a passive and like non-confrontational person, so like this might maybe people won't agree with this, but the world would be so much better if everybody was like that. If everyone was like, if that would have happened, and then you were like, "Dude, are you good?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm good. Are you good?" "Yeah, sorry about that." And you're like, "No, I'm sorry, man. No worries. We'll be careful on the next one."
And you just go on with your day.
And then you could both be surfing there. You'd both have good feelings about it. Like, I don't know, that was just a weird wave.
Doesn't have to like stew.
But dude, there's something about surfers that are so hot-headed. And in that situation, he was probably pissed, but he was afraid of Alex, or he's afraid of you, or he was new. I don't know. I'm always like, this doesn't have to be weird. It can just be like, oh, sorry, that was weird. That was a weird wave. And we just go on with our day. But
Yeah.
it almost never happens like that.
Yeah, it's a rare occurrence when someone's super chill.
It throws me off.
It reminds me of the debate about Utah versus California drivers. So California drivers are just very aggressive, generally speaking. And so if you're getting on the freeway, you just know no one's going to let you. Like you
gotta
gun
make
it,
your way.
you gun it, and you make your own path. In Utah, it's like almost dangerous because cars will slow down in that far lane on the freeway to like let you get in. You're like, just go. So I think there's a balance, but it would probably be less wrecks if everyone's more passive. But I almost
Yeah.
like the aggressive when everyone's aggressive because you just know people. You know what people are gonna do.
It's
you know?
predictable. I
Yeah.
think that's what makes it like safer, as long as it's predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there are rules, I guess. I guess that's part of it. Like there are rules to surfing, but there's always exceptions, and every time, and like in that wave right there, you're like,
Yeah,
I don't
where
really
it's-
know who was in the wrong. But if people were just in those situations, I guess like you can be aggressive when you're trying to get a wave. I get that. I'm not stressed about that. It's like when those weird things happen, the first reaction shouldn't be to like fly off the handle.
Yeah.
But I feel like it
Yeah,
always
just
is.
blow up on someone.
It always is.
Yeah.
It's like, anyway.
Especially when it happens to me.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Leave me alone.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know. Sound like a little bee saying that, but
Yeah, later
I
on,
stand by it.
after that, I remember telling Alex, because I saw him on some waves, like, later on, and I was immediately checking, like, is he any good? Like, if he rips, I was probably in the wrong.
totally. Did he rip?
No, he didn't. And I told Alex, I'm like, it shouldn't make me feel better, but it does.
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah.
In that situation, then that makes me think that he was just self-conscious, where he thought you were going to be mad at him.
Maybe.
He just like went away being like, oh, I did something so stupid there. Everyone's looking at me.
And that makes me feel bad. Am I putting off a vibe like you get in my way?
Yes.
I put out that vibe.
No, not at all.
Shoot.
No, you're chill.
Oh,
You're chill.
man. Yeah, 2 close calls one day.
Yeah.
Heavy stuff. I haven't surfed in a second. Gotta get out there. For me, not necessarily since. Well, I guess since we spoke, Jess my wife just had her anatomy scan, where she's almost 20 weeks pregnant. It's a boy.
Let's go.
Yep, joining
For the boys.
Joining the boy gang. So we're stoked about it. We're super stoked. Everything's good. Baby's healthy. Jess is healthy for the most part. Pregnancy's kind of a rough go, at least for I think most girls. But yeah, Jess is kind of getting her crap handed to her. So, but yeah, everything's super good and we're stoked. So it was awesome to see the little guy, and yeah, that's kind of taking up most of our time is just trying
Getting
to
ready
prep.
for baby.
Yeah, trying to prep, trying to go to appointments, and trying to brainstorm what the heck we're gonna name him. So the hardest thing in the world.
Are you guys using that Kinder app?
Is that the one where
Is
you
that
swipe?
where you swipe?
Kinder, I just got that. I didn't understand that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Kid Tinder?
It's basically kid names Tinder. So you
That
and
could-
your yeah,
It's
could go
dicey.
you and
very
your
wrong.
baby mama or baby dad,
your
yeah.
spouse.
Your spouse. I don't know. Our listeners might. Your partner.
Get married. I stand by it.
You both have it, and it's like between you two, and you swipe left or right. Like left, you don't like it. Right, you do. And then if you both end up liking the name, it'll like match, just like Tinder does.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it is
Tinder.
cool. I would say whoever is running that, well, I take it back. It's that there's a free version and there's a paid for version.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the paid for version I think has way more names. The free version, I'll be honest, it gets pretty boring after a while. They're like, okay, how many different ways can you spell Ashley?
Yeah, I feel like that's all. Like I went through like one round of 10 names, and I thought it was like repeating itself,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I had to go back and be like, oh, it was just like 2 letters different.
100% dude. I mean, they have Mark in there spelled 8 different ways, and you're just like, I didn't know you could do that. It was crazy. But then every once in a while it'll come up and be like, do you want to pay for more, like unique names or something like that? So
Yeah, they need to put like name genres in there.
they do. They have like you can do it by like country, you can do it by
Oh,
ethnicity,
really?
like all the stuff if you pay for it.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's kind of the thing.
I ain't paying for that.
No,
yeah.
sir.
I don't know about you, Tyson, but we had been deciding on names, changing our minds, all that, up until just a couple weeks before we went to the hospital. And the day of, like, we had already agreed on a name, but after seeing the whole process, and it was time to, like, give us the paper and write down the name, I'm like, you pick whatever you want.
Oh, you just got cold feet?
No, because it was just, like, to see what they go through.
Oh, like
I'm like, my opinion does not matter.
Oh,
I get you. Like you're gonna let your wife decide because she just went through hell. Is what
Yeah.
you're saying. I get
Yeah.
you.
like this is your reward kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tyson didn't feel that way.
No. Yeah, I don't know.
Tyson's like, nope.
Well,
I'm still
honestly, I
naming
thought
it.
if anything, it took more pressure off of her to not have the name.
Oh.
But we had like an agreement beforehand. Like if it's a boy, I get to choose. If it's a girl, she gets to choose. So he came out was a boy, and so
All you, baby.
predetermined.
Did you have names lined up?
Yeah.
Or was it going to just be a surprise?
Yeah, I had 2 names. Have I told you guys this story?
No?
Where
I
like
don't remember.
I had a clear sign given to me for what my son should be named.
God
So,
told you?
Pretty much. He came down. No. Oh, that window got really bright. I had 2 names, so Torin and Rasmus, because my wife's maiden name is Rasmussen. So Rasmus is kind of a cool name that we thought of. I wasn't 100% sold on Rasmus though. I definitely was leaning more towards Torin. But those were the 2 I was going back and forth with. And Came time to name him. I was like, I'm gonna name him Torin. Settled. Gotta name him Torin. I was watching some sporting event while we are like chilling in the hospital, and sure enough, some athlete out there, they announce him, and his name is Rasmus.
Whoa.
In the hospital room when I'm naming my child, and those like,
That's the
I've
most
never heard that name before.
Never. I've never heard either of those names.
right? That's what I'm saying. And right there, and I was like, oh no, I'm supposed to name him Rasmus.
But you didn't listen.
I didn't listen.
Oh, clear sign the other way.
Yeah.
Just ignored it.
And I was just like, nah. So that might come back to bite me sometime in the future. And
Yeah, that'll be the
I'll
next
think
one.
back to that and be like, why didn't I name him Rasmus? Who knows? Who knows?
Are you letting Ree pick the next one?
Yeah, she gets,
She gets-
whether it's a boy or a girl, she's getting one.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. But what
Yeah.
a
Get one chance.
Doesn't get much clearer than
The
that.
rest are gonna be girls, man, and not gonna have any say. Dang, dude.
Tyson, you got some family in town? Is that?
I do. My family is all downstairs right now. Because in Sam's place, the downstairs is like a short-term rental. My family's renting it out. And it's been a fun week. It's been hectic, but it's been fun. Took a few days off. Yesterday, surfed some glassy goats.
Ooh,
Got kayaked out there by my brothers.
nice.
So I didn't have to make that super long paddle.
Oh, that's a dream right there.
Surfed for like 2-3 hours, and then they swim back around and picked me up. Brought me back to shore.
That's perfect. They don't surf. They didn't want to surf it.
They don't really surf.
Oh, that's surprising.
No, they wanted to explore in the kayak anyways, like cruise around Goat Island,
That's
all the
cool.
other stuff around there. So they had a lot of fun, and I had like a dream surf sesh too.
Mm.
It's like 3 to 4, only a few people out, and I knew everyone that was out too, like all buddies of mine. It was fun.
My dream surf session is not having to paddle out. That's awesome.
Next
Straight up,
level.
dude.
No paddle out, just jump off and you're in there.
Yeah,
Great.
That's perfect. That's a dream.
It's been a good week with the fam. Don't get to see them that often. They only come out like once a year.
How long are they here for?
They're here till Sunday,
Nice.
so I got another 2 days with them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Love having family in town, dude.
But the podcast comes
Yeah.
first. So I'm here.
Priorities.
Screw the family.
Yeah.
I got a podcast.
This is our livelihood.
Jeez. Love it.
We're only 19 minutes in.
Should we jump into just the tip?
Yep. So my tip comes from knocking doors this week. Ran into a guy named Earl, super old guy, and he starts telling me about his granddaughters because they just seemed like the most important thing to him. You could tell he was so proud. And he was telling me that when his kids were growing up, he was always working, always busy, never got to really go to their games or anything. And as a grandparent, he gets to do all that he missed out with his children. So it's really cool.
Heavy.
Yeah, but he started talking about her soccer game. He told me about this one soccer game that his wife wasn't able to make, and her the granddaughter scored like 5 or 6 goals or something.
Jeez.
And the way he was talking about this soccer game was like it was the Super Bowl. And I told my wife she missed the most amazing game. It was so awesome.
And how old are these little girls?
Like 6 or something, you know?
Yeah,
like
tripping over each other.
Tripping over each other. Everyone just runs after the ball in a big mass.
Yeah.
And it just made me think of like perceptions. Perception is your reality, because the Super Bowl could be your favorite day of the year, and it's a massive event for all those playing, watching. But then there's a ton of people in the world who could give, like, they could give a crap. How do you say that?
They couldn't care less.
Yeah, they couldn't care less about the Super Bowl. And so things that are important to us aren't important to other people. And I think it's just a good thing to know, to like better understand other people.
I like that.
Mine. Oh, it's my turn. Change. Nothing stays the same. The only sure thing in life is change. Everything Got to change. Kind of just keeping that in the forefront of your mind and helping you to like treasure the moments that you are in, because no matter what, it's got to be different than the first time you were there doing that thing. I think about that almost every time I go home, visit home. Like this doesn't like mean anything to me. None of my friends that were here are here anymore, and it's not the same. Everything changes one way or another, especially the people that kind of make places and things special. Treasure now.
Bars.
These are some deep tips.
I like that one. I think that's cool because it is to like add on to that just a little bit. That it's the last thing you said. That when you think about it, when you go back home, it doesn't feel the same because the people aren't there. And so, like, what do you really miss? Do you really actually miss home, or you miss the people that were there at the time? So it's like instead of cherishing the place or always, because I do it all the time, just talk about home, like it's the best thing in the world. Then I go back and I'm there for a week and I'm bored,
Yeah.
right? And so it's like, man, but all those people that I knew growing up, have I tried hard to keep in contact with any of them? Really? I've lost contact with so many good buddies from back home when it's like, those are the things that I really love and miss.
Tender.
Yeah, man. Heavy. My tip is to vote.
No.
This tip is for my fellow co-hosts, but also for the world. If you guys don't know, there's something called the Revolutionary War, and people died for our freedom. And then
Lecture hour.
yeah. So also, politics in this country are super messed up right now, and I think that people just see the news and they think that it's beyond help, it's beyond hope. This is still the greatest country in the world, and there's power in voting. Get out there and vote, people. Vote for the right people.
Little context. I think we were talking to Sam, and I know I've never voted before. Have
I
you
think I
voted?
once or something. I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Oh my god,
I have more important things to do, like pay my bills.
things to do. If you've never voted, it takes 30 seconds.
I gotta register. Gotta
Time is
go
valuable.
somewhere.
I spend a lot of time with both of you. Your time is not valuable.
Whoa.
y'all
Dang,
don't
dude.
do
Shots fired.
y'all don't do anything. Okay,
Savage.
y'all can chill.
I got barrels to go get.
It's worth voting. I like to consider myself a bit of a patriot, so I'm big on that. When
Are
it
you
comes,
like proud of that? You like a proud boy?
yeah, like a good old boy. Is that what you mean?
That's
No.
commendable.
A proud boy.
I don't know what a proud boy is.
White supremacist.
Oh,
White.
white supremacist?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yes.
No, no, I'm not a white supremacist. I am a patriot, which is like, I'm like diehard for America and for what it stands for.
I feel that.
I am too. But grew up in California. My vote was not going to do anything. Then I went to Utah. My vote wasn't going to do anything there. And now I live in Hawaii. And it's,
Yeah.
hey, if I was in a swing state, I would vote for sure.
It's just the
Dude,
like
electoral college just is what discourages me the most.
I get it. I do. 100%. I get the electoral college is like kind of whack. But at the same time, the reason that you're like, oh, my vote doesn't matter in California is because of that mindset. Do you remember? So Gavin Newsom is the governor and he sucks. If you guys aren't aware, he's the worst.
Yes. Can confirm.
He almost got recalled. There was a huge petition to get him voted out of office. And so people had to go and just petition. And he got enough votes where there was a recall. Unfortunately, he stayed in. But like it showed me that like even in California, they had to get a lot of signatures. Like a lot to get that vote even called. There had to be like an overwhelming number of people. that were like, we're fed up with this guy. A lot of them conservative, or almost all of them conservative. And it just showed that, like, even in California, if everybody actually went out and voted, because I think a lot of people have that mindset of like, it's a blue state, nothing's ever going to happen. I don't know. I think people just get discouraged about where they live. But if everybody had
Like,
that thought,
if they had just voted in the beginning properly, they wouldn't have to go through that recall. Is that what you're saying?
kind of, yeah, like people think that they're like alone, that like, oh, I'm just like a conservative living in a liberal state, or even, I mean, I'll go both ways, or even liberals who are liberals who are living in a conservative state. It doesn't mean like, yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
You're not as alone as you think.
Exactly. No one's ever alone. It's not always so black and white. And I just think there's like something to be said about our ability to vote, where there are so many people in the world that don't get to. That they're just, this is who your official is, and you have to follow them, and they're going to be in office forever. And it's like every 2 years, we can vote on like people who are in power.
Mac, last presidential election, she got 2 ballots, one in California and one in Utah.
I believe it.
Just 2 people.
Jeez, 2 people.
That's how Biden won, but we won't get into all that. I get the system is flawed, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to take advantage of our freedom and our liberties. That's what makes America so lit. All right, I'll step off my soapbox now.
I'll vote.
Thank you.
I promise.
You off of the podcast.
You can't do that. This is a dictatorship. My house. Well, jumping into, oh yeah, we should stop.
Yeah, we'll stop here.
Ooh, almost stopped my audio, but I didn't. Stopping the stopwatch. Oh, I thought you were joking.
Yes.
Thought you were being sarcastic, but yeah, I get you. Oh,
You ready to dive deep?
So ready?
back to me not being a white supremacist. Jess and I were having this discussion the other day about how fragile the white gene is. Not like it's a bad thing. I'm just saying
how
factual.
fragile.
It's how recessive it is. So,
Yeah. Okay,
like,
I feel that. Yeah.
So like, you know, your mom is white.
Yes.
Your dad is Samoan. Like all Samoan? Like full Samoan?
Actually has a little bit of German, Chinese in him.
Gotcha. Mostly Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
Is that the right terminology? Cool.
Yes.
And Alex and all of his siblings look a lot more like your dad, or have the complexion and the hair color and the eye color, right? That's safe to say?
Well, have brown hair and brown eyes.
I rest my case.
Dominant genes.
So like I feel like dark genes are very dominant. And so, because we were talking about like, oh yeah, we have friends where like, you know, whichever way, the guy is black and the girl is, you know, a blonde, or vice versa, and their babies always come out looking dark. They're not just like, oh, it's a blonde baby. Like that almost never happens. And so Jess and I were thinking like, it's kind of surprising with it being so recessive. How are there like still white people? Like, you know, like how has it not been weeded out? And then I thought about it for a minute and I was like,
That's where the question comes from.
oh, I was like, it might be racism. Like white people just weren't down to marry dark people for a long time.
Hitler, Mussolini,
Yeah.
those guys.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder if racism, or if you want to say specifically, let's say specifically white supremacy, if that was never a thing, would there still be white people out there? Or would they have all been weeded out? Thoughts?
My initial thought is that along with race, there comes like a lot of cultural things. You know, and I think beyond racism, when you marry someone, you know, you want to have a lot in common with that person. And culturally, just because it seems to be tied a lot of times with your race, you marry someone that's similar to you, you know, that has a lot in common with you.
Totally.
And so I think just trying to find someone that you bond well with, a lot of times you end up marrying someone that's your same race too.
Disagree.
That's why we're doing this deep dive.
Yeah. But also, do you? Because you're also about as whitewashed as they come.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Jeez.
I stand by it.
Come on, dude.
I
Let's
stand by
compare. You're like orange right now.
We look the exact same.
Yeah.
All right,
I
what-
mean,
what-
you come
what-
from like the
yeah.
opposite of that situation, like your parents. Where was your dad raised?
In the Bay Area. Born in Samoa, moved to the mainland when he was 3 or 4. Grew up in like Daly City,
Okay.
super poor area.
So did you drink kava growing up?
I didn't. I've never drinking kava.
What?
Yeah.
Have you?
Point, Sam. No.
The only
I've
one?
heard it's terrible. I've heard it tastes like grass.
It's more like dirt.
That's better.
Oh.
It's like
Well, in that case.
like the soil that grass is on.
Gosh.
Going back to racism.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
tell us your thoughts.
Yes. I
You-
think
That's why.
you'd be extinct.
Or just everyone, I don't know.
What do you think the world will look like?
I could do without being sunburnt all the time.
What do you think the world will look like in 200 years? There's a lot more mixing and mingling out there.
True.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it'll be a way more of a melting pot.
And I think part of that is, again, going back to like culturally, with like the internet and everything, everyone is more culturally on the same page. And so people have more in common despite the color of their skin.
And like geography doesn't matter as much. Because, yeah, you're right. Like,
Oh yeah, geography is a big part.
and like air travel and all this stuff, is like, oh, you're in Africa. Am I going to marry someone not from Africa? No, because I can't leave because there's no way to leave. But now you have the internet. So people are meeting in other countries and then can very easily get to each other. So, yeah, I think it's going to be way more of a melting pot. And I'll be interested to see if certain genes become... Can certain genes become extinct? I honestly don't know enough to be talking about this.
I'm curious about like blonde hair, blue eyes, because
It's super recessive.
That doesn't. Yeah, super recessive.
Yeah, like my wife has brown eyes. Her dad has blue eyes. My family, they're just as Aryan as it gets. Like blonde hair, blue eyes. But it's all recessive because my son has like these kind of like greenish, mostly like brown eyes.
Mm.
And there's a lot of chances in there, like, for the recessive gene to get in there. But
Didn't.
there's just one stroke of brown and
It got beaten out.
got beaten out.
Or rather, there was a lot of brown and there was like one little strand of blonde or blue eyes.
Wait, what?
Oh, maybe not. Something about like...
You need to take another sip of that Red Bull.
Because you're saying you have a lot of family with blue
Are you
eyes.
talking about sperm? What was that?
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's what he said. Well, I thought Tyson went like this. Did you not do that?
I don't think I did that.
Check the tape.
Challenge on the field.
Challenge.
I don't know what I'm saying. Never mind. Cut this part out.
Wasn't it the pundit square? What is that?
Yeah.
Pun it.
So like for us, it was like my side was all blonde hair, blue eyed, and then on Ree's side, her mom has brown eyes, her dad has blue eyes. So there's only like out of the 4 squares, there's only 1 square with brown.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And the brown pulled through.
And my kids have a 50-50 chance of brown or blue or blonde or brown.
It's almost guaranteed brown. And look at Jace.
And Jace has brown.
Brown eyes.
We'll
Brown hair. His hair's a little lighter from the sun. But
Yeah.
I'll be
I
interested
mean,
to
your
see.
hair's pretty light too.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, just food for thought. Food for thought. That's all I have to say about that. Oh, if you want to talk about this one, Alex, we were talking about this in the car yesterday. Do you remember what we were talking about?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of a good segue from racism to.
Okay, let me think.
So why didn't you marry someone from a different race?
Why didn't I?
Yeah.
Because I went to BYU, Idaho, that was 98% white.
Honestly, same. That's probably why.
So, of the crowd, yeah, a lot of them looked very similar. So, you marry who you're around.
I was actually the minority. Like, white people are the minority at BYU Hawaii.
That's true. Oh, so a better question is, why did you marry a white girl?
I just had the most in common with her, to be honest.
Racist. No, I get it.
There's a reason me and Tyson are sitting this far apart.
But she has brown eyes, so
There
I'm
we
not
go.
racist.
He's doing his part for the world.
Okay. Anyways, there's not a good segue from this, but
There's no clear way out of here.
Yeah, we'll just
from
say
racism to
we'll just say deep dive number 2. Switching subjects.
Switching gears.
switching gears. So Sam and I were talking about this yesterday about how fast, quote unquote fast, kids learn stuff.
Mm.
You always hear if they want, or if you want to teach your kid a new language, do it when they're young, and then they'll learn it really fast. And I just do not believe that kids can learn faster than us. Like, their brains are just way underdeveloped. Yeah, they're like a sponge, but I honestly think what helps them learn things faster than us is that they have absolutely no shame, and they don't care how they're perceived or how they look. They don't care if they look stupid.
No ego.
No ego. So they're just crawling around, falling. They're speaking absolute nonsense, and they just keep going. They'll like say the wrong thing. All of this stuff, they just don't care. They're just doing everything.
Hmm.
And so when I think of when I learned Spanish, I was so, before I had even learned it, I wanted to feel like I was good at it for some reason. But there's no need to feel that way when you haven't done something. And so I truly believe that like limited me, not by much. I ended up picking it up pretty fast, but yeah, pretty much. I don't know. That's that. Like, shame gets in our way.
Ego gets the way.
Yeah.
Right. Ego, pride. We were talking about how pride is like the root of all evil.
Yeah.
Like, why do people lie? Because they want to be perceived a certain way by people around them. Why do they cheat? Let's say like cheat on your spouse because in their head they deserve more or deserve better. It's just a pride thing. Why do they steal? They're entitled. They think that they are owed something. It's all just comes down to pride and what you think of yourself and what you want other people to think of you. So yeah, little kids don't care. Little kids don't care if they say the wrong word in Spanish. The parent will just say, no, it's not that, it's this. And the kid has zero ego, zero pride. And it's just like, cool.
Just accepts it.
It's this. Yeah, I made a mistake. Who cares?
Yeah. They don't get all. Yeah. That feeling, like just like 2 days ago, my boss corrected me on something. 'Cause sometimes when I talk to coworkers internally, I have a terrible habit of sending things, then proofreading.
I feel
And
that.
I'll proofread afterwards and be like, what in the world? And my boss called me out on it. And like, it stung more than it should have. But I accepted it I was just like, oh, thanks for pointing that out. Like, I definitely need to like proofread before I send things, and told them that. But like, in my head, like my ego is definitely hurt. I didn't express it. I was just like, it was
Cried in
in
the
there,
car
and
later.
I'm like, how do I like not? Why does my ego like? Why can't I just like absorb the learning and just let it go?
Right. 100%. Like, yeah, just like a little kid being like, oh, okay, that's not how it is, or I did something wrong. Yeah, we were talking about, because, Alex and I and you too are all just trying to get other things started.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to, in the beginning. So like, for instance, I'm trying to start a photography business. When people ask me about it, they're like, oh, I heard you're starting a photography business, or I heard you're getting into photography. And my first thought is always to respond and say something like, downplay it. Say something like, oh yeah, I'm like kind of getting into it. Because in my head, I don't want to be like, put myself out there and have them be like, oh, this guy thinks he's going to start a photography business.
Yeah, because what if you're like, yeah, man, I'm going all in.
And they're like, oh gosh.
Well, let me see what you got.
But as opposed to being like, just being at least confident about it and just like, yeah, I'm super passionate about photography. I'm really excited about it. And yeah, I just started like a month ago, but I'm really excited to learn stuff like that. because we had a friend ask me about it. I downplayed it, and she was nice enough to still be like, "Oh, we would love to get our photos taken from you." And then I almost felt bad. I was like, I literally just like downplayed it. That could have lost that whole thing. She could have been like, "Oh, I thought you were like really going for this." Like, never mind.
Even just a couple minutes ago, this is how ingrained it is in us. When you first started talking, you said, "Yeah, so I'm trying to start a photography business." What do you mean
I'm
trying?
trying.
Like,
Yeah.
You've done several photo shoots already. You have the gear. You have the pictures.
I have people booked.
You have people booked.
The stories we tell ourselves.
Yeah, you run a photography business.
You
You're a
run it.
photographer.
You are.
I think it's the imposter syndrome that hits you.
Yeah.
Because to say those words, I am a photographer, it sounds like I'm lying. That sounds like that's not true. But I'm like, no, that is. Like, I am. I do photography. I am a photographer.
Yeah.
But it just sounds weird coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, there's a thing in a book. It might be Atomic Habits or something. I don't know. Talks about how you need to become rather than just have goals. If you want to quit smoking, if you say, "I'm trying to quit smoking," that entails that you're a smoker trying to quit. And if you just say, "I don't smoke," then
Yeah.
you've already perceived in your mind, like, I don't smoke.
I'm not the
You
kind
know?
of person that smokes.
Yeah. And little kids are awesome about this because they literally believe they're like superheroes and stuff. You know, you could have a little kid, he's like, "I'm Batman." And he literally believes he's Batman or Hulk or whatever. You know, they just go full bore in whatever they want, you know?
100%. And they believe it so wholeheartedly. There was a little kid. We used to live with another little family when I lived on Big Island. And he was so obsessed with Spider-Man. Like, in his heart, like, he was Spider-Man. And I've never seen him happier than when one time his dad picked him up and like put him up on the wall. And he like could finally feel like he was up climbing on the wall. And he was like, in his heart, he's like, finally, I'm like seeing the world how I want to see it, like up on this wall. It was so cute.
This is what it's like.
Yeah. And yeah, just to be able to like, man, I don't know where I was going with that. Never mind.
When I was a kid and I came out of Spider-Man with McGuire, I in the theater I was already like climbing up one of the walls.
No way.
But I was like, "Get down from there."
You're like, that should have been
I'm
me.
like, I'm Spider-Man. Like, I just saw this movie, therefore I am.
And just no fear. Like, Jace will just crawl right off the bed.
I'm like, "Oh, it's
And just-
possible." There I go.
Yeah. You just go for it as a baby, as a kid. I love it.
Yeah, that's
So apply that to realistic things.
yeah, of like being a little bit. That's so funny that you say that. That like in your head, you had just seen someone else do it. Any rational person would be like, "That's not real." But as a little kid, you're just like, "I can do this. I'm gonna climb up this wall."
I just
And-
saw someone do it. Someone did it.
Yeah, and so again, going back to like we should be a little bit more like little kids. I think more people would be successful if they had like an irrational idea of, I will be successful, I can do this, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Yeah, I think part of us tries to downplay in the case that it doesn't work or it doesn't succeed. Because that's like a fear that's in your subconscious. Like, what if this photography thing never takes off? Or for me in digital marketing, it's like, what if I launch this campaign and nothing happens? You know? So like it's almost trying to like undersell and overperform kind of thing.
Yeah, because then if you make it, you're like, "Oh, sweet, you know, no harm, no foul." But if it doesn't work out, also no harm, no foul. I didn't really say I was getting into this. I didn't say I was a photographer doing digital marketing. I was just kind of dabbling in it.
You're like trying to build yourself a safety net, you know?
And like the only way to success is like zero safety nets.
Take off the training wheels, baby. Just let it fly.
It's so true.
I just saw this crazy look in Sam's eyes.
Bro.
No safety
It's
nets.
it's a terrifying thought. It's almost impossible to do, but it really is true. Like Alex and I do door-to-door sales. We have seen, at least I've been, I mean, on and off, but let's say consistently in Hawaii, I've been doing it for a little over 2 years. You've been doing it for a little over a year.
out here.
out here,
Yeah.
a little over a year. In the last 2 years of being in Hawaii doing door-to-door sales, I've seen, not even an exaggeration, 20 to 25 people start and quit very quickly. They get into it for a few months and they quit and they go find something else that's more,
9 to 5.
more
Just easier.
easier and more like reliable, with like a steady paycheck or whatever. Truly, the only reason that I've succeeded, because I'll be the first to tell you I'm not a great salesman. The only reason I succeeded is because we moved out here and it was kind of irrational. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to come out and this is the job. I didn't have any other prospects. We moved our whole life out here, never even thinking I still to this day, I'm like, I've never even once looked for another job out here.
Really?
Never. Like, it is sales or nothing. And I really believe it's the only reason I've been successful is that I have zero safety net.
That's hilarious.
It is this job or it's nothing.
I hit one inconvenience and I'm like all over LinkedIn, like applying for jobs.
But it's funny because Sam went through that whole thing, finally started making it work, getting paid, and then I come out and it's like I'm just trailing behind him in his footsteps just a year prior. And so it takes a while to get things rolling in sales, especially the high ticket sales. And so I remember, yeah, we just moved our entire lives out here to Hawaii. Mac was pregnant. I'm like, holy crap,
Pressure's on.
have to sell. Like I have to. And then by far my best month was like my first month out here. Because
Because of that
I
pressure.
needed to sell, you know?
Mm.
If I didn't, we were literally going to starve.
There was
So,
no safety net, 100%, dude. And then, what is it? Let me think of the quote. It's hard to wake up early when you sleep in silk sheets,
yeah.
something like that. Because it's hard to grind when things are comfortable. When you have
It's like tough times make tough men.
yeah, exactly. Where if there's only one option and it's this has to work, or else like you will work like a madman. Like your first month, you're like, I will work. As soon as you get comfortable, you slack off.
Have you seen that chart? It's like tough times make tough men make
Good times.
good times, comfortable
Comfortable
times.
times.
Comfortable times make weak men bring tough times bring
Yeah, it's just
big
this cycle. So where are we? Life
I'm
is
a tough
definitely
guy.
easy. Dude, oh my gosh. Like, if you think about like times in the Great Depression and all that, and like people like literally there's no food out there. And like our recession now, like housing's a little bit more expensive, but like I've never once worried I'm not going to be able to pay for food, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard because I want to say I'm more like in tougher times, but also I can't really say that because like my parents provided everything I needed, but they by no means were like, they're not like still paying for bills or anything like that. Like
They're
I am
not
doing
paying
it,
your rent.
right. I am doing it all on my own. So yeah, it's hard to say like where I am in the cycle. I honestly don't know. I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle.
My ego wants to say I'm tough,
I know.
but when I look at it like big picture, I'm like,
I didn't come
I'm
from
like-
poverty. Yeah.
I'm like, like with work, like even working a 9 to 5 and like commuting and everything, I'm like, I'm gonna work remote. Like, that commuting thing sounds tough. Not gonna do that.
Sounds too difficult.
And I'm like, yeah, definitely living in a very comfortable time. I think the only thing to like break the cycle is to always want to progress. And like no matter what, even if you're comfortable, being able to get out of the silk sheets and like grind no matter what. And I think it's possible to do, even if it's harder to get into that mindset because you're not forced into it. I think you can still manufacture that mindset even with comfortable times.
Totally.
It's not like you have to have tough times in order to be tough.
No.
There might be some lessons like you'll never learn. like I'll never really know what it's like to go hungry and that kind of stuff. Um,
But you can know enough to want more. Like, you can know that, like, oh, maybe my parent, like, for instance, I'm like, I don't think my parents had everything that they ever wanted. And I know that I want more and I want to provide more for my family than my dad did, even though he provided a great life.
even though it was awesome,
But I want
yeah,
to do more.
yeah, holding on to progress, not being complacent.
With the no safety net thing, I think about all these super successful people that have gone through bankruptcies and everything. I'm, man, I haven't been anywhere close to that. That would make you tough for sure, you know?
Gosh, that's so terrifying.
And then those people really didn't have a safety net, you know? They were already fallen. They found a way to catch themselves.
Yeah, I had a teacher he started his own company, and he had like over 100 million that he had to like get back to his shareholders, and he was
Oh.
like, the main guy, and he said he like the amount of anxiety and stress that he had on him at all times. Like someone would walk through the door and he'd be like, who is he looking at? Like, what is he doing? And he was just like wired all the time.
Oh my God.
And he didn't even realize it at the time. It wasn't until like he came through with everything that he was like, oh boy, like
Jeez.
my resting heart rate was like at 90 beats per minute all the time.
Just about to have a heart attack constantly. Oh my gosh.
His cortisol levels through the roof.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
But yeah, don't let shame and pride get in the way of success, and don't let it ruin you.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen.
Lose your ego, lose your fear, jump off that cliff.
You smack, you smack.
Yep.
Yeah, if you smack, pick yourself up and do it all over again.
There's only one way to find out if you can actually fly. You know what I'm saying?
That was like low key deep. Yeah, that's true. That was good. I like that. Cool. That's all I got on deep dive.
We get sued because someone jumps off a building
Oh
because of
my.
us.
Have you seen,
Disclaimer. Please do not jump off the
have you seen that Key and Peele? Oh my gosh.
No.
You can literally fly.
Yeah.
That one where kids, young kids. Have you seen that one?
No.
Oh, we'll show it to you later. Everyone go look at that Key and Peele one.
So
All right,
funny.
let's stop it there, and
Yeah.
then we can get into amateur hour.
Feel warmed up?
A little bit. A little scared. A little scared
Oh.
of getting ripped apart, but
Hey, who put me first?
except for mine. Mine's gonna be freaking.
The problem with mine is it doesn't have like a punchline.
Okay, that's okay. That's
All
okay.
right, all right.
All right, folks.
Talk
welcome,
is cheap.
welcome to amateur hour. We're going to do our best to get some laughs.
Yeah.
Brighten your day.
You know,
Living out our lifelong dreams to be comedians.
Not my dream. Disclaimer.
not really my dream either.
Not my dream either.
But I love comedy. And so I can't, in good faith, just watch it constantly and not give it a crack, you know?
Yeah, same. I love laughing, and I thought this segment would be super funny because we have to write jokes and tell it in front of each other, and it's just three of us in a room. Like, there's no other energy. And so if you do tell a funny joke, it's great. We all laugh. But more likely than not, when you just suck and you bomb, the other two guys will just hound you for it. So it's a win-win.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm
It's gonna be
stoked.
great.
I need you to edit in the laughs when I.
A laugh track.
Laugh track.
Yeah.
All right, Tyson, you got this, dude.
Oh, like I said before we started this, I wasn't nervous, and now that we're hyping it up, I'm feeling it.
You're going to do great.
I'll laugh regardless. Don't
yeah,
worry.
dude, I'm having a great time. I'll laugh no matter what.
All right.
I think
So
everything's
here's
funny.
how the story goes. My wife recently was on a work retreat, and on this work retreat, they went to Haula, to like a Buddhist temple,
There's a Buddhist temple in Haula?
a
Yeah.
Buddhist like church.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh.
Yeah, there's actually like two Buddhist monks, I think call them. and that wear like the orange and everything.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen them at
Yeah.
like bus stops and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah. Like recently.
Yeah, so they were like giving them the lowdown on like Buddhism and everything, and learned a lot. Learned a lot about Buddha, and I learned that Buddha had a wife and kid.
And is that not chill for?
No, when you're
It's supposed to be
practicing monk,
celibate, right?
yeah, you're celibate. Uh, and then Sir Buddha left his wife and kid to become enlightened.
Oh.
So Mr. Buddha did not find enlightenment until he left his wife and kid.
Tyson got an idea there.
So, for our Just the Tip segment, if you're looking to become enlightened and you find yourself married and with a child, time to let loose. I'm like, what a way to like, look, honey, I'm not leaving you.
This is for.
I'm just becoming enlightened. What a way to word it. And he started a whole religion to like
Oh my gosh.
to build some credit around his
He really wanted to get away from his wife and kid.
Bro, that's
He
the
went as
move.
far as starting his own religion.
And all these monks are like, yes. Good.
They're like, wait, this guy's onto something. This guy's onto something.
Gets all these guys to leave their wives and children.
Everyone's like, wait, this sounds sick.
There's only one way to enlightenment, gentlemen.
They're like, we just have a bachelor pad up in the mountains and then temple, and we just vibe out. That sounds sick.
You don't see what goes on in closed doors. They're freaking raving.
Yeah, just
So if you're a Buddhist monk too, they call it impermanence. And it's just like going back to the change thing, like everything is subject to change. So these Buddhist monks can like one day wake up, be like, I want a wife and kids. They can go out, have a wife and kids, and step away from being a monk in Buddhism. And then like 10 years down the road, come back. And it's like totally chill.
and then leave them all over again.
And leave them all over again.
Oh my. Yeah, that seems like a dicey way to live. That was good, dude. That was great.
Yeah, that was sick. Bravo.
Good job, Tyson. You freaking did
Heck
it.
yeah.
I love it.
All right, so I don't know about you guys, but I get a little nervous going to the doctor. And I think it's mainly because of like the fear of the unknown. Like you go to the doctor, you don't know if you're going to get diagnosed with a disease. You don't know how long it takes. Like sometimes it's hours that you're waiting there. Or sometimes you just get like groped by a grown man. And this story starts there. So, high school physicals, you get the hernia check, drop trow, and then
Turn your head and
turn
cough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, seriously, that's the only time where you want a female doctor. But at the same time, you don't. Because then it brings you back to the 6th grade health class when they're talking about the female reproductive system, and you wore sweatpants. You get called up to the front of the room to write on the board. You're just going,
Oh no!
me? Are you sure? You're just killing time. And then you walk up with your sweatshirt and you're just doing everything you can.
Swoop and tuck.
Anyways, I got the man. Wasn't a female. So this was my first time getting the hernia check, getting the turn and cough thing. So I go in there. I'm a 14-year-old boy. Go into this room with this full-grown man. And I'm like, okay, just sweating, nervous. Like, all right, drop your pants. I drop them, still wearing boxers. Turns around. Underwear too. Okay. Drop them, and then I'm just so nervous. I'm looking around. Scoops it. Turn and cough. Turn the other way. Turn around.
Oh.
Bro, this grown adult had me turn around. And I didn't know it wasn't normal. It was my first time getting this check. So,
Dude.
I leave this office. And the worst part about this, even worse than having a pedophile doctor, is telling my mom, it was kind of weird. Like, he had me turn around when I was butt naked. And she starts laughing.
What?
She starts cracking up like, what? He had you do what? So, yeah, here I am, 14-year-old boy. Just like, balls hadn't dropped yet, probably. And he had me face the wall. And this dude, I don't know what
From
he did.
behind?
Yeah, dude.
He's like,
He had me
cough.
turn around. And then I left there. And then I've never gone back to my uncle's house.
That hurt my feelings.
Not the uncle.
Oh boy. Dr. Uncle.
Golly.
Based off a true story.
No.
No.
That did
I said
not.
based.
Yeah. True. Yeah. True events.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh.
My cheeks hurt from smiling.
Bravo. That was good. I was kind of just like, oh, okay. That was just like a weird story about you getting molested. like, yeah, you should have like called the cops or something, or report your mom to Child Protective Services. But that was great, dude. Dang. Oh my gosh.
Darker you go, the funnier it gets.
Never went back to my uncle's house again. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
The uncle, I did not see that.
Gosh, wow. I should not have gone last.
Check up.
I should not have gone last. Okay. My turn? All right.
Not the uncle.
All right, let me compose myself.
Make sure your audio doesn't switch to.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, you got some tears.
Yeah. I'm in myself.
Hello? Hello, hello, hello. I turned off the Bluetooth.
Tap the mic.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. This is going to be... Can't hear anything.
Love
Oh,
that you
wait,
have-
it might have gone to this one. Hold on.
Yeah, I probably did. Is it still going?
I'm so confused. I'm confused about the AirPods.
Sam's the prop man. He has to bring props.
The glasses last time.
Yeah.
This is good. This is getting me out of my comfort zone. We got too comfortable in the last few episodes.
I know.
Hi. All right. So this is going to be more of an interactive one.
Uh-oh.
So,
Crowd work, huh?
yeah, who wants to be we'll go let's go Alex for this one. All right. So you're not Alex anymore. You are Betty Finkelheimer, and you are at the grocery store. You're at Foodland, and you really need you're trying to find a product, and you really need a worker's help. So I'm a worker, just like stocking shelves.
Okay.
So you're just gonna go like you really need help. So I'm just kind of
I'm a shopper,
yeah,
And I
you're
need
a
help.
shopper, and I'm a worker.
and I'm Betty.
Yeah,
Betty.
you're Betty.
Frankenheimer?
Excuse me. Pardon me.
Hmm?
Could you help me get that item on the top
Oh.
shelf?
I've always wanted to do this. I'm it's Jay-Z. Listening to Jay-Z. Where's the phone? Why are you recording me?
I've seen a TikTok of this exact joke.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, dang it. All right.
I don't understand what's going
This
on.
is no idea. There's a trend on like TikTok people have earbuds in, and you walk up to them, you're like, hey, what are you listening to?
they
And they'll
take
pull it out, they'll say it, and then the music comes on.
Oh,
And
okay.
so, but the TikTok I saw was like this skit of like a worker, someone needed help, and they're like, excuse me. And then they're like, huh? Oh, yeah, I'm listening to Hummingbird to buy whatever. And then just starts dancing off.
Yeah.
Mine was a little bit different, but that's lame. I don't want to copy someone else's. Dang it. All right.
I thought you had just seen it, and then you're like, I'm
Mm-mm.
going to just do that.
No, there's a
Do you have
different.
multiple skits?
I do, but I'm trying to think. I need other props for other ones.
Oh my God.
mm,
Boo.
yeah.
I want to give you
just-
support, but
He's staring. He's like, give me something.
give me something.
Come on.
I was waiting. I know I was waiting
Come on.
because I had more to it, but honestly, it's not funny if that's like a popular TikTok already. Then it just seems like I really did just see it, but I didn't see that one.
Well, it was like a year ago, so maybe people don't remember about it. Saying you're late to the trend.
I know. Well, that's all I had. The other ones need more elaborate props that I didn't have time to get together. I'll
It was a trend though. It did do really well, so it was fun.
It was funny.
Just like-
Let me think. If I can do one of the other ones.
See, if I could prepare and go up and do like a little 5-minute set or something,
Mm.
it wouldn't be comfortable, but I feel like I could get through it, not just like vomit on stage. Improv though, if you just throw me up, you're like, say something funny, be funny. Oh my gosh, I would just black out.
Tyson's just checking emails right now.
Someone asked me something. I want to make sure I'm not on vacation. There you go.
F me. Hmm.
Did you put a lot of time into that?
No, I literally couldn't think of anything, and I almost came just empty-handed. And then I saw a video kind of similar to this one, and I was like, ooh. And so I made it a little bit different, but you ruined it. Just kidding.
Sorry.
I'm like waiting for the punchline.
Yeah, we can go
Like,
back to it.
is this all
This
part of the stand up? You guys just ganging up on me?
is no, dude. I'm trying to think if I can do one of the other ones, but probably not. And we'd have to like stop all the cameras, and I have to go do something.
Where was that going? I was like, what do you mean? What camera? What phone?
My thought was to get really mad and say I was listening to like Jay-Z or Kanye or something, and then you to be like, no, like I'm just looking for this, like I'm looking for this one product, and then I was just gonna keep getting more and more mad and be like, fine, I was listening, and I had like some other funny songs queued up, so
Oh, and then you're like, I'm actually listening to a musical or something.
yeah, or like a Taylor Swift
Taylor
song
Swift,
or whatever.
Lover.
That's where I was going, but like I said, didn't work.
Different jokes. I feel like if there's a big audience, you can just get a couple
Yeah.
people laugh. Triggers.
That's trigger.
Honestly, hard to tell a joke to 2 people.
You guys
Yeah.
did great. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for you guys. I'll come more prepared next week.
So come with your vote.
Please, for the sake of my reputation, cut this out. Just have it be you two. For all gosh, just have it be you two. We can't have that on.
Do you
Just
have like
keep
a
talking.
one-liner dad joke you can at least provide? At the very least. You're about to be a dad. You need to start arming your artillery.
I got nothing, dude.
Dude,
I got nothing.
I'm gonna just compile these into like a big note, so I have stories I can just pull out. If you're like in a social setting and someone's like, "Anyone have a joke?" and you've like prepared for this moment.
This is my
You just got one
moment.
to
This
slay.
one obscure moment.
I know.
You just had a really good punchline.
Yeah,
I
it was
appreciated
a
that.
Classic, dude.
I didn't have like a secure punchline for mine. It was just
No, dude.
That's-
No,
it's just
you,
a funny
you
concept.
did, dude. You had a good one. Yeah.
Gun to your head time.
Yeah, dude. Let's just move on.
Okay.
I got obliterated.
Here's the laughs.
Yeah,
Dude, I was like anticipating yours too, because you had the first joke in episode 1.
I know.
So I thought
Yeah,
you just had
it's
like an
pretty funny.
artillery.
Dude,
I was
that's
like, for sure he's gonna make another racist joke. You know.
I know, dude. I kept thinking, just kept thinking it would come to me, and it would come to me. And then last night I was so tired, and I was like literally just writing stuff down, and I was like, I have nothing. But then I really thought, I was like, they'll probably come with nothing too. And then you guys did it, and I was like, F. Yeah, I'll come more prepared next week.
Anyways. Well, Sam's gonna earn his keep back with this next segment. This gun to your head. He usually makes us laugh here. So
There we go.
what you got for
Let's
us?
set it up more. All right,
What in the world?
gun to your head, people. What are you doing, Tyson?
Getting the spinning wheel of death.
Uh-oh.
And look what it's doing to the.
Ooh, you can draw. All right, folks, gun to your head. If you were a necrophiliac and you
Oh
had to
my
dig
gosh.
up one celebrity, who would you dig up?
So-
Necrophiliac, as in you have to have sex with them?
So they'd have to be dead.
That's what a necrophiliac is.
I know, but so these are all celebrities that are dead.
Yeah, you have to dig.
What
There's
female
only-
celebrity has most recently died?
I'm just gonna say mine, Marilyn Monroe.
Oh,
But like, are you just?
I don't know who you digging up.
Mary.
But is that just like a little bony? Or
Ooh, it would be a little bony.
okay.
Well, I'm in the
Amelia
clear.
Earhart.
They never found her body.
Exactly.
It's part
She
of the
can take
journey.
you places you ain't ever seen before.
Like an alien spaceship where she's being preserved.
Oh my gosh. What are you doing over there, Tyson?
My notes like died.
Amelia Earhart.
Okay, we're done though.
Sacagawea? That what?
Kichawaya?
Is it Wea?
Sacagawea.
Sacagawea?
Sacagawea.
Buddha's wife?
Give
She
her the
must have
man-
not been a
She was probably
babe.
lonely.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, if Buddha just up and left, I don't think that was started a whole religion about it.
Dude, imagine getting left by the Buddha.
And then he's like doing these teachings of like being so spiritual.
And
And he's like, you douchebag.
Like, hey!
Yeah. God dang.
He just left me, and he's trying to make up for it.
Yeah. Boo.
Who are you digging up? Digging up and doing?
Who ma-
That alliteration was too good.
It's such an
Digging
effed
up and doing.
It's such an effed up question.
I actually have a story.
What?
Oh,
How
yeah.
do you have a story about
I've-
necrophilia?
I have a story,
Oh my
and
gosh.
it's good.
Oh gosh.
But you
Okay.
go first.
I literally didn't have anyone prepared because I just was like so grossed out by it. Who are famous women?
That's the thing. You have to think of like
I know.
dead ones.
I
and,
know. I'm like, who's died that was cool?
Betty White?
Betty White.
The Queen?
the
Ah!
Queen.
Wow.
Would you rather?
Betty White. Honestly, it's like the same person.
It is. Yeah.
I like
Just
that.
like American or English.
I'm doing. I'm doing the Queen. I said the Queen. That's good.
I'm doing gun to your head next week.
Please.
I feel like Sam's chosen all the gun to your heads.
I have, dude. Hey,
Yeah.
if you, whenever
No,
you,
keep
whenever
at
you
it.
guys want to
They're good.
chime in. All right, Tyson. Tell us
My
your
story.
effed up story.
So it's not my story. It's my mother-in-law's story.
I didn't know she was a necrophiliac.
Yeah.
Does Ree?
oh my god.
Skips a generation, so
Oh.
it's a Torrin will have it. No, so it's not even her story. It's her coworker's story. All right. So, coworkers in Colorado, and she's at a bar, and she meets this dude at the bar. Handsome, young, good-looking guy. They hit it off that night. They make out at the bar, and then he's like, "You want to come back to my place?" She's like, nah, I got like a early morning tomorrow. Like, this ain't the time." And he's like, "Okay." And so she goes home, wakes up the next morning, has this weird like rash on her face that she's never had before. She goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "Have you been at like a mortuary or gone to a funeral recently?" And she's like, "No." She's like, "The rash you have on your face is caused by bacteria that's only found on dead things."
No.
And then she puts two and two together, and she's like, "Oh my gosh." And calls the cops, and the cops go to that guy's house because she had the address. Because he was like, "Well, if you change your mind, here's my address." And cops show up, and he was in the middle of eating someone.
Oh,
What?
So this guy,
Oh.
his routine was just hit up bars, find pretty women, take them home, kill them, eat them. And there was like 5 other bodies there too. Young dude, like our age. And he's just munching on homies.
No.
And the only way he got caught is because he made out with her and got that stuff on her face,
and
Oh
she didn't
my
come home with
gosh.
him.
and she didn't come home with him.
Bro, that's so
And that's like someone like
effed up.
within a group of like people I know that happened to. Like that's like a crazy story that you see on like X-Files or something, you know?
Yeah. This was your mother-in-law
My
was the one that got
mother-in-law.
the rash.
No, my
Oh.
mother-in-law's coworker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dude,
and she came back from Colorado and like told her about it, and she's like,
I'd straight use bleach as mouthwash. Holy.
"Oh my gosh."
Yeah, how do you get rid of that bacteria?
It was like a simple thing to get rid of, but like it was something very specific.
How do you get rid of that memory? Jeez.
Therapy, years and years of therapy, put it in the vault. At least he got caught though,
Yeah. Can't eat anybody else.
in the middle of eating someone.
That's gnarly.
I hate when
Crazy.
people interrupt my dinner.
All right, everybody.
Oh, do we want to do something to brighten up the mood? That was a nasty story.
Yeah, man. Halloween's this week. Let's talk about that.
Hey, this is a good Halloween segment.
We should do a Halloween episode
Yeah.
on
Costume.
like, yeah.
Just cut that story and reinsert it into.
That's true. Into next
People.
week's. Yeah, we should do a Halloween on like soon, like the next few days. We should do another one and do a Halloween episode. We can come with like spooky stories or something.
I'm
Yeah.
down. Halloween's
tell
on
that one
Tuesday.
again.
Halloween's on Tuesday, so maybe like this weekend or
I'll be here on Tuesday.
I might not.
Okay.
Wait, Tuesday? Oh, Halloween is on Tuesday. Oh, yeah, that can work.
We'd have to do it early though. I kind of have a busy day on Tuesday.
We'll see.
Well,
Yeah, what are you guys' Halloween plans? What are you going to be dressed up as?
nothing. We don't have any kids, so we're pretty lame.
I'm a dinosaur explorer, chasing around our little dinosaur.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
We're Spider-Mans. I'm from the Spider-Verse. So I'm Peter B. Parker with like the pink robe. And then Mac is Gwen Stacy. Is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
And then Jason's going to be the little Peter B. Parker's baby. Like the Spider-Man hat.
So
Pretty
cute.
cute.
So freaking
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we were gonna do like a big murder mystery party and everything, and then
Oh yeah,
just never.
never
Jess
came to
is-
fruition.
Jess is pregnant, so she's kind of just motivation's in the dirt right now. So she's like, I decided I don't want to plan a huge party for everybody. I'm tired. Anyone else have a good like gun to your head? Would you rather? We got a few minutes left.
Here's a happy one. Would you rather get the barrel of a lifetime, but no one's there to see it? Or have like an OK Sir session, but you're with all your friends?
Barrel of my life.
Yeah, I barrel my life.
I'd rather have Friend sesh.
Bro, friend sessions happen
Oh,
a dime a dozen, Tyson. Talking about barrel of a lifetime.
Yeah, but like you
Yeah.
tell people and they're just like,
They're like,
but if someone's there and sees it,
it's true.
whole different.
Everyone thinks you're just a legend.
Yeah, I remember there's this guy that was in COVID, got stuck in Indonesia or somewhere like that, and he's just riding these perfect waves, but he was alone, and he said he was just like getting barrel after barrel and just getting depressed because no one was around,
No one to share it with.
no one to share it with, and he was just like bummed out.
wow, dude.
Riding perfect waves, but like doesn't matter if like you're not with people.
Nah.
Yeah, that's hard. That's a hard one. I don't know. Well, we
Lone
should wrap
barrels.
this up. We're at like 28.
Close it out. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, like, follow our podcast on all platforms, and we'll see you in the next one.
Deuces.